Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. In this video, I will be showing you the roadmap for the future content of July on CounterSide. As you can see, in July, we're going to have Shadow Palace, which is a brand new event for, it's not an event, it's more like a, it's like a story mission, I believe. We're gonna have 2 new operator, I believe. Right? 2 more new operator? I can't read. Future strategy compartment Sigma. Alright, so we're gonna have Sigma. And, let's go see what she does real quick. Her stats is gonna be shown to you right now. On the screen in front of you right now is a picture of the operator Sigma with her stats. Let's read it. At level 1, she cast a non-cancelable barrier of 6% of max HP around all allies and add 15% roll advance damage for 10 seconds. At level 8, it's a 20% with the roll damage at 50%. So, she is going to be a must summon or must get with the currency from the shop, with the summon shop, my bad, if you are a PvP player who loves to play PvP. Now then, after the after the operator Sigma, we're gonna be having 2 brand new units to summon for with the blue tickets. Let's go over them, shall we? The first one would be Serif, and the second one that we're gonna be reviewing is Alex and Harab. I think that's 3 units. I'm not entirely sure, but let's go check over it, shall we? So what we have here is Serafel. I'm pretty sure that's what she calls herself, Serafel. I'm not entirely sure. But here's her passive, which is permanently increase her attack by 1% in response to incoming damage up to 99%. Wow. In Gauntlet, increase damage decrease all enemies' HP by 4.5% over 3 seconds. Ships excluded. And at level 5, she, after every 4th basic attack, she delivers an enhanced AoE attack in the front area special skill, hit stun immunity, and damage resistant by 50% for 5 seconds. So that's a really good passive. I'll be really honest with you. That's a really good passive. As for her special skill, Painful Melody, she unleashes her power, inflicting AoE damage on surrounding enemies and forcing them to attack her for 8 seconds. Takes 50% of damage for surrounding allies and achieve 100% higher defense for 8 seconds. And at level 5, she recovers 30% of max HP for after skill. So she's going to be like a taunt and a really big tank from that one special skill right there. That's incredible. And finally, for her ultimate skill, Lacrimosa, if I pronounce it correctly, my bad if I didn't. She partly reveals her true form, inflicting AoE damage on surrounding enemies. This skill immediately cancels all the debuff cast on her and makes her invincible for its duration. And at level 5, she stuns all enemies for 2 seconds after her skill, which is basically very, very good. Like, that's incredible. Shit. Alright, that's very good. As for here, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I forgot to do this for Operator Sigma, and I'm just too lazy to just edit that part in, and I don't want to just be that kind of hassle, so I'm just going to do this. For detail rating, from the Korea server, or Korea side, she is SS in Story, Guild, Co-op, and Shadow Palace, which is very good. For raids, that's an S. Like, you can see, like, the, ranking right there. For the pros and cons, let's go with the pros first. She can tank for days. She can heal herself, which is rare for a defender. And damage sharing on her special makes some units overpowered in PvP and makes surviving AoE attacks in PvE easier. Now let's go for her cons. Has no evasion, which means she will always receive full damage whenever she's hit. And you kind of want to have some skill haste on her. And this means sacrificing some defensive stats for her. But in general, she's going to be very good for you if you do wish to pull for her. That's like very good. Now finally, we're going to be going for or talking about her gear recommendation, which is for PvE, you want the set piece, which is HP and HP or HP and defense. For PvP, it's the same thing, but here is what you want to do. For the substats, which should be either ground damage resistant and melee or damage or range damage resistance, but you can also sub that second part for the melee or range damage resistant with a skill haste. They're both good, but it's up to you if you want her to be more tankier or if you want her to be more supportive for the team. Now that we are done with Serif, we can go over Alex. That is already being shown to you right now on screen. For Alex, her passive skill, she detects stealth and activates her device when her HP drops to 50% or lower. Basic attack additionally attack and all attack treat a barrier equal to 3% of max HP for 5 seconds. And each level grants her attack speed, and at level 5, her attack up to 50% based on HP loss, immunity to hit stun from special or lower skill during barrier. So she's going to be probably immune to basically stun whenever she has her barrier. So that's going to be interesting. That's all I can say. Now as for her special skill, Life Overdrive, she amplifies her device output, temporarily reinforcing her physical capability, inflicting AoE damage in front, and increased max HP by 25% for 12 seconds. And at level 5, she increased the stats by 50% HP and instead randomly remove one non-permanent buff. It's not bad, but I don't think that's going to be really good when removing a non-permanent buff at level 5, which is not really that good. Yikes. Now finally, for her ultimate skill called Sidechain Compressor, she maximizes her device output and cause an underground explosion inflicting AoE damage in the front. At level 5, the damage increased to 50% based on HP lost. So she's going to be like a really, really interesting glass cannon around that area. So that's going to be very interesting to play around with her. Now finally, we're going to be going over just her basic information. So in the Korea server, she is A and B overall, so she's not really needed. But if you don't have like certain units, she can definitely be usable. So let's go over her pros and cons. For her pro, she is a buff removal counter and counters certain enemies. One of the only few employees who can detect stealth enemies, I believe, and she is pretty tanky with the barriers. But for her cons, she is a bit of a selfish employer for PvE. While she can tank, she deals damage and removes buffs. The last isn't needed in PvE. And for the gear recommendation, it is for both PvP and PvE. She is HP or attack speed. Anything for the substats. But, I mean, her additional pro is that she is like one of the best waifu in the game. So, if you love your waifus, go after her. That's all I can say. Now that we are done with Alex, we are going over the last unit, which should be Harab, for the summonable blue tickets. So for her passive, that is being shown to you already on the screen, she increased her attack by 1% as per basic attack target up to 99%, same as Serif. And Harab, my bad, basic attack also damage allies by at 1% of attack and increase their damage resistance by 5% every time up to 30%. And at levels 5, after every 4th basic attack, she delivers an enhanced attack damage plus 50%, true damage by 33%, my bad, of HP and affected summonings. Summonings? I don't know. I think that's a But she is pretty interesting as a passive skill. That's all I can say. Now, as for her special skill, Death Adder, she forcefully whips at the front area, inflicting AoE damage, confuses summoned units, and increase their attack by 30% for 10 seconds. In Gauntlet, this effect is also applied to cost 2 or below units. At level 5, the cooldown is reduced by 0.5 seconds for every basic attack, which is really, really good. I'll admit, it's pretty good. Now finally, for her ultimate skill, Painful Instinct, she whips and generates a strong wind, inflicting AoE damage on enemies in front, increasing damage resistance by 20% for 12 seconds when cast, and at level 5, additional special skill effect on affected targets. So, I don't know what is the special skill effect, but let's just see when we get her, you know? Now, finally, we're going to be going over her detailed rating on the Korea server. So, as you can see, she's not really that good in PvE, but in PvP, she is very good. So, for her pros, the confusion is just simply broken, but her con is that she is completely useless in PvE. Now, for the gear recommendation, she is a cooldown reduction with skill haste, substats, and that goes the same for PvP. Now that we are basically done with the 3 summonable units, we can, I think Harab and Serif are meant to be together because, one of them is basically a M, which is a masochist, while the other is a sadist, which is Harab. And I think Alex is also gonna be... So I think this is the first time we're gonna be having a 3 unit in a month. So I don't know if we're gonna get them all in like one singular update, or we're gonna have to, summon once a week type of scenario. But let's just see what the dev decided to do for those 3, my bad. But I'm very interested because I want Alex. And considering what Serif is like one of the best tanking units, I'm gonna probably get her as well. Maybe Harab, but who knows. Now that we are done with the summonable recruitment, we're going to be talking about the new Counter Pass units, or the Battle Pass unit, which should be Leomedia. I think that's how you pronounce her name, but I'm not entirely sure. But let's go check over her, shall we? Leomedia, that is being shown to you on the screen right now, is this character for the future next month Counter Pass. So let's go check over her passive, shall we? That is being already shown to you on the screen. So, the passive skill, Maintained Battlefront, unlock a new power every time an ally leaves or die on the field. Depending on its type, increase crit if they're counters, attack if they're soldiers, by 5% up to 50%, or if it's a mech, create a barrier equal to 15% of max HP for 10 seconds. And at level 5, the crit slash attack, which is 10% instead, and it goes up to 50%. So it's a unique style. So it's gonna be very interesting on how you play with her. That's all I can say. Next is her special skill called Coordinate Lock. Telekinetically gather enemy in front and levitate them, and then fire a cannon at them, knocking them backward with AoE damage. And at level 5, the cooldown is reduced by 4 seconds. So it's 20 seconds for you to use that special skill, and it's pretty interesting. So she is basically what's his name? Not Schwarz, but it's the one unit from Arknights that can, shoot a fire hydrant. Yeah, you get what I mean. If you play Arknights, she is someone like a bulldozer or a pusher, so she pushes people away. That's what I can say. As for her final skill, which is the ultimate skill, it's called Last Ditch Effort. Muster upper strength and throw an abandoned ship. This ship crashes onto the ground and continuously pull enemy before it explodes with AoE damage. And at level 5, last attack targets, their speed and attack speed is reduced by 25% for 15 seconds, which is pretty good. And I'm very interested with how they're going to animate that ultimate skill, because that's going to be meme worthy right there. Such a meme worthy. So if you're a meme content creator, definitely use it, bro. Oh my god, I can't wait. Now finally, for the detailed and pro and cons, they're separated because the picture is a bit too big, but I chose it like this, so leave it be. The rating is on the left side, the pros and cons is on the right side of the screen, and so as you can see on the detailed rating, she is pretty good overall, but she's like mostly used for dive. So if you do get her or to get the battle pass, she is definitely worth the money. So let's go over her pros and cons, shall we? For her pros, her passive drastically increase her stats. She is safer in the sky due to being air type, and good damage / CC combination. Now for the cons is that she is very, very, very squishy, like very. And she requires allies to reach her full potential. As you can see from her passive, she requires them to die, and yeah. But for the gear recommendation, she is either cooldown reduction or attack speed for both PvP and PvE. And you can have either ground damage or skill haste as the substats. So, or you can have attack speed, either one. But it's up to you really on how you wish to build her. But in my opinion, I think it is definitely worth the $10 in America. In USD, of course, but like, I don't know in any other country, but she is definitely worth to buy. Like the counter pass, because you get like a free level 106 of her, so like that's incredible. So please do, if you do have the chance to do it. If you can't, then it is perfectly alright to skip her. Now then, for the final character that we're going to be getting for July, or the month of July, is the brand new Awaken unit that isn't shown on here, but the event for the Awaken character is in there. And that is the Great Witch Legacy for the character Awaken Yuna. Let's go over her, shall we? Now, for the pictures that is being shown to you right now, is the brand new Awakened character called Yuna Springfield. And the reason why I didn't put in any information for the basic attack is because it's usually, the same thing. But for Yuna, it's kind of different with the basic attack. So let's go over it. After every 5th basic attack, Rayleigh deliver an AoE attack to the farthest target and decrease its attack and attack speed by 30% for 5 seconds. If you don't know who Rayleigh is, it's that bird or phoenix that is being cropped out by the photo. But yeah, so she has like a bird that will debuff the enemy from just basic attack, which is very incredible. Oh, that alone is incredible. As for her passive skill called Rayleigh, she summons Rayleigh, which is the Phoenix, when deployed. Yuna decreased HP by 2% every second for herself and surrounding enemies. I think bosses and ships are excluded, and recover 3% of HP every second. If Rayleigh is on the field, Rayleigh resurrect in 5 seconds, with full HP once per summon. And at level 5, if Rayleigh is dead, damage taken is reduced by 50%, and special and ultimate skill HP restoration is 50% for 5 seconds, or increased by 50% for 5 seconds, which is phenomenal. Like, so good. God, I'm gonna be simping for her. Oh no, I'm gonna be summoning. Oh no, I'm gonna be wailing. Alright, let's continue, shall we? Now, for her special skill called Solar Flame, she summons a massive column of fire, inflicting AoE damage on and around the target, and targets lose their buff effects and can't receive new buff for 5 seconds. Yuna also recovers 10% of HP if Rayleigh is on the field. And at level 5, damage taken is reduced by 15% for 8 seconds when cast, and effect is doubled if Rayleigh is on if Rayleigh is on the field. Now finally, for her ultimate skill, Prominence, concentrate and discharge the power of the sun, and inflicting AoE damage on enemies in front, recovers 20% of HP if Rayleigh is on the field. And at level 5, the attack percent is 15% for 12 seconds after skill, effect doubled if Rayleigh is on the field. Which basically mean this skill is just a better version of Endeavor from My Hero Academia. I'm gonna get roasted. Oh no, I'm gonna get canceled by the My Hero fans. But I mean, can you blame me though? Like, I think this is generally a better version of freaking, that fiery dude from My Hero, dude. Yeah, dude, it's been so long since I watched My Hero. Fucking hell. Now, finally, we're going to be going for the rating on Korea server for Yuna Springfield. As you can see, she has 2 SSS for Story and Shadow Palace, and an SS rank in the C version of CounterSide for PvP, and like a bunch of S and A's, which means she is very, very good to get as an Awakened unit. Now, for the pros and cons. For pros, any percent HP based damage is broken in high-end PvE in stages with a lot of enemies. So, yeah, that's really good. She just doesn't die with all the self-healing in her kit, and 2 units in 1. The bird is stronger than some SSR rarity employees, which is kind of a flex right there. Now, for the cons, she is countered by silence. If you steal her bird with Harab, she will stop healing herself, and current endgame PvE enemies usually one-shot her, so she's not as good there anymore. But in mid-game, or for global, as of now, she is a must summon, because like, she's just really, really good. Like, I think she is a must summon for like a good year. You'll be able to use her for a good year before you have to either replace her or not use her anymore. Like, that's how good she is. So, I'm gonna be wailing for her, so stay tuned for that. Oh, my poor wallet. And finally, for the gear recommendation, before I forgot, is cooldown reduction, skill set, and skill haste as a substat for both PvP and PvE. And, yeah, that's basically it for her. Jesus Christ, she's so fucking good. And, before I forget, yeah, so, a friend did say to me that her playstyle is basically like, imagine Awakened Hilde, but just pure damage. And, that's a really good, that's an incredible way to describe her. So, yeah. Now that we are done overlooking the, July content, the only thing that we are missing is the event story for Awaken Yuna, or the event story for the 3 summonable units. And generally speaking, it's just an event story. I'm not going over it for that, but is there, now for the final question, should you summon for them? And that is, yes for Serif, yes for, well, it depends if you really like her as a waifu, which is Alex. Alex is a waifu character. She's not really needed, but it's okay if you don't get her. Harab is a niche PvP unit, so if you play PvP, go get her. And you can buy Operator Sigma, so you don't need to worry about that. But for the Awaken Yuna, though, it's a must summon. Like, it's guaranteed, hands down, you must summon for her. I don't care what you say, like, she is a must summon. Anyways, thank you for watching this incredibly long video. I hope you like and subscribe for future content, because I'm going to be wailing super hard for Awaken Yuna and like those 3 characters. So I just hope that you support me, and thank you for watching in general. I hope you leave a like, leave a comment down below what you think of this video, and I hope you subscribe. Peace, and have a great day.